There are nearly 200 countries on Earth. They speak thousands of different languages. They follow different religions. They live under different governments. They celebrate different traditions, yet almost every one of them understands one game: football. Children play it in the streets of Rio, on frozen fields in Norway, on dusty villages across Africa, on rooftops in Asia, inside Europe's biggest stadiums, and on beaches where there are no goalposts at all. No other sport belongs to so many people. No other game has crossed so many borders. No other sport has become a language spoken almost everywhere. But football did not always belong to the world. Once it belonged to just one country, a small island off the coast of Europe, England. So how did a local pastime become humanity's most universal sport? Was it simply because football was the best game? Or did history quietly help football conquer the world? The answer begins long before the World Cup, long before Pelé, long before Messi. It begins during a revolution that changed the modern world itself. To understand football, we must first understand England, not the England of kings, but the England of factories. The Industrial Revolution was transforming the country faster than ever before. Millions of people left quiet villages for crowded industrial cities. Life became faster, harder, and far more organized. Workers followed strict schedules every single day. Schools began educating thousands of children under the same system. Cities grew larger every year, but one problem remained. People still played dozens of completely different versions of football. Every town had its own rules. Every school played a different game. Some allowed players to carry the ball. Others did not. Some matches lasted for hours. Others ended in chaos. A game that changed every time it was played could never spread beyond its own community. Football needed something it had never truly possessed: one set of rules, one common language. And in 1863, everything changed. In October 1863, representatives from several English clubs gathered in London. Their goal was surprisingly simple: to stop arguing. Every club believed it was playing football, yet none of them agreed on what football actually was. Should players carry the ball? Could they kick an opponent's legs? How large should the field be? Where did the match even begin? Without common rules, football could never become a national sport. It certainly could never become an international one. That meeting created something revolutionary: the Football Association. For the first time, football had an official rule book. The game became recognizable wherever it was played. A player from London could now play in Manchester. A student from Cambridge could understand the same match. The rules no longer belonged to one school. They belonged to the game itself. It was a small decision, made inside a single room. Yet it would eventually influence billions of people, because football had finally become something it had never been before: a universal game. Once football had one set of rules, it became remarkably easy to carry. Not in books, but in people's memories. British sailors played it in foreign ports. Engineers introduced it while building railways overseas. Merchants played after work in distant cities. Teachers brought it into British schools abroad. Wherever the British Empire expanded, football quietly traveled with it. From Buenos Aires to Montevideo, from Cape Town to Cairo, from Bombay to Hong Kong. The game crossed oceans without anyone planning a global revolution. No government ordered people to love football. No company advertised it around the world. It spread because ordinary people kept inviting others to play. One match became another. One club became 10. 10 clubs became a local league. Slowly, football stopped feeling British. It started feeling local. Argentina believed football belonged to Argentina. Brazil believed football belonged to Brazil. Uruguay believed football belonged to Uruguay. The world's most successful export was no longer owned by the country that created it. The British Empire introduced football, but it could never force the world to love it. Something else made football impossible to ignore: its simplicity. Football asked for almost nothing: one ball, a small piece of open ground, and a few friends. That was enough. No expensive equipment, no specialized facilities, no perfectly prepared field. Children could play barefoot. Goals could be 2 stones, or 2 school bags, or even 2 trees. The rules were easy to understand, but difficult to master. Anyone could join within minutes, yet players could spend an entire lifetime trying to perfect it. That balance made football extraordinary. Simple enough for everyone, complex enough to fascinate forever. Rich countries embraced it, poor countries embraced it, children embraced it, adults embraced it. Football belonged wherever people wanted to play. Very few sports could make the same promise. By the beginning of the 20th century, football was already spreading across continents. Clubs were appearing everywhere. National teams were beginning to emerge. But the sport faced a new problem. Every country played football. Yet there was no stage where the world could meet. Football had millions of players, but no global purpose. In 1904, 7 European nations came together in Paris. They founded FIFA. Its mission sounded almost impossible: to unite football under one international organization. For the first time, football belonged to more than one nation. It belonged to the world, but FIFA still faced one enormous question. What were all these nations playing for? League titles inspired cities. Domestic cups inspired countries. Football needed something larger, a competition capable of inspiring the entire planet. One tournament, one trophy, one dream shared by every nation. That dream finally arrived in 1930. The first FIFA World Cup took place in Uruguay. Only 13 nations accepted the invitation. Compared to today's tournament, it looked remarkably small. But its impact would become enormous. For the first time in history, entire nations played for something bigger than a trophy. They played for pride, for identity, for history. Club football created local heroes. The World Cup created national legends. Every 4 years, football gave countries a chance to dream together. Victories belonged to millions. Defeats hurt millions. No other sporting event produced the same emotion. Children watched their country's colors. Parents remembered previous generations. Entire cities stopped to watch 90 minutes. Football was no longer simply a game. It became part of national identity. Every tournament created new heroes. Every generation inherited new memories. The World Cup transformed football into a shared global story. One competition, billions of emotions. For decades, watching football meant being inside the stadium. Everyone else relied on newspapers or radio broadcasts. Supporters could hear history, but they could not see it. Television changed everything. For the first time, football entered people's living rooms. Families could watch together. Children could imitate their heroes. Entire nations experienced the same moments simultaneously. Every spectacular goal became unforgettable. Every celebration became iconic. Every World Cup became larger than the one before. Then came Mexico 1970. The first FIFA World Cup broadcast live in color across much of the world. Millions watched football like never before. The yellow shirts of Brazil, the green grass beneath their feet. Pelé smiling after another brilliant move. Carlos Alberto finishing one of football's greatest team goals. Those images traveled far beyond Mexico. They traveled into history. Television did more than broadcast football. It created global heroes. A child in Africa could admire Pelé. A teenager in Europe could dream of Brazil. A family in Asia could fall in love with football without ever visiting a stadium. For the first time, the entire world wasn't just hearing football. It was watching the same dream. The World Cup gave football a stage. Television gave football an audience. Now football needed faces, heroes everyone could recognize. Pelé became the first. His brilliance reached millions through television. Children copied his movements. His smile became football's smile. Years later, Diego Maradona inspired another generation. His genius turned football into theater. Then came Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. Each belonged to a different country, yet every one of them belonged to the world. Supporters no longer followed only local clubs. They followed players across continents. One extraordinary footballer could inspire millions who had never visited his country. Football was becoming something larger than national identity. It was becoming global culture. A child in Tokyo, a teenager in Lagos, a family in Buenos Aires, all admired the same players. Very few sports had ever created heroes with such universal appeal. Football no longer connected countries only through competition. It connected people through admiration. Football was never the only sport with global ambitions. Baseball spread beyond the United States, but it remained strongest in only a handful of countries. Cricket traveled across the British Empire, yet it stayed closely tied to the Commonwealth. American football became a cultural phenomenon, but almost entirely inside North America. Basketball expanded faster than almost any modern sport, yet it still could not match football's reach. So what made football different? The answer was never one single reason. It was many simple advantages working together. Football was easy to learn, easy to organize, easy to understand, easy to watch, and almost impossible to outgrow. A 5-year-old could enjoy it, so could an 80-year-old. Professional stadiums were not essential. Luxury equipment was unnecessary. The rules rarely changed. The emotions never did. Football adapted to every culture, without asking any culture to change. That may have been its greatest victory. It never replaced local identity. It became part of it. The 21st century changed football once again, not on the pitch, but on the screen inside every pocket. The internet erased distance. Social media erased time. Supporters no longer waited for tomorrow's newspaper. They watched history unfold in real time. A goal in Madrid was celebrated seconds later in Jakarta. A derby in Buenos Aires sparked conversations in London. A teenager in Nigeria could analyze tactics with fans in Germany. Millions experienced the same match together, even while living thousands of kilometers apart. Football was no longer simply broadcast. It was shared. Highlights traveled faster than newspapers ever could. Clips reached billions before the final whistle. Supporters became creators. Every fan could now tell football's story. Every celebration became a global moment. Every controversy became an international debate. The game never truly stopped. Somewhere in the world, football was always being played, always being discussed, always bringing people together. For the first time in history, football wasn't just the world's game. It became the world's conversation. Looking back, football's journey almost feels impossible. A local game from England, played on muddy fields, now belongs to billions of people. History certainly helped. The Industrial Revolution, the British Empire, FIFA, the World Cup, radio, television, the internet, each opened another door, but none of them guaranteed success. History created the opportunity. People made the choice. Generation after generation, children chose football. Communities chose football. Nations chose football. Not because they were told to, but because the game felt like it belonged to them. That may be football's greatest achievement. It never asked the world to become English. Instead, it allowed every nation to make football its own. Brazil found joy. Italy found discipline. Argentina found passion. Spain found artistry. Every country wrote its own chapter, yet everyone still played the same game. Perhaps that is why football succeeded where every other sport remained regional. It became more than a sport. It became a shared language. A child can understand it before learning to read. A stranger can celebrate with another stranger, without speaking the same words. Very few human creations have ever connected people so effortlessly. Football did not become the world's game because one nation conquered the world. It became the world's game because, little by little, the world chose football.